10. Patagonia, Arizona. Patagonia doesn't show up on most retirement lists, and that might be exactly why it's perfect. Tucked into southern Arizona, this little town with a population under 900 is quiet in a way that feels intentional. People don't move here to be seen. They move here to finally not be. No stoplights, no Starbucks, but surprisingly strong cell service, depending on the birds. The median home price hovers around $190,000, which, in today's market, feels like discovering buried treasure that still smells like sourdough from the farmer's market. Cost of living index, an easy 89. Crime, 57% lower than the national average. It sits at 4,000 feet elevation, which means it's 15 to 20 degrees cooler than Phoenix, making it one of the rare places in Arizona where the air doesn't feel like opening a preheated oven. The town itself feels more like a lifestyle choice than a zip code. There's a wildly alive art scene, indie coffee shops, an annual birding festival that residents take more seriously than Christmas, and the kind of community where everyone probably knows your dog's name and your favorite bread. But don't expect convenience. There's one grocery store and it closes at 6:45 p.m. Miss that window, and the only option might be gas station jerky and philosophical hunger pangs. Still, it's the kind of place where time slows down, not as a metaphor. There's literally a sundial in the town square. Patagonia isn't for everyone, but for the people who want peace over prestige, it's magic. 9. Snowflake, Arizona. Snowflake might sound like a sarcastic nickname someone gives a soft city kid, but it's an actual place. And yes, the founders were really named Snow and Flake. It's a place where aliens, tumbleweeds, and porch coffee coexist in a town that feels like a time capsule wrapped in serenity. Median home prices sit comfortably at around $215,000, with a cost of living index of 86. Crime? 47% below the national average. Elevations around 5,600 feet, which means the seasons show up, but Phoenix-style heat strokes don't. Snowflake is both calm and, well, weird. Church bells echo through the morning, roosters might be your alarm clock, and your neighbor might jog with a parrot on his shoulder. It's quiet, like actual hold-your-breath kind of quiet, but beneath the peace, there's law. This is the town where Travis Walton claimed alien abduction in 1975. Instead of brushing it off, locals basically shrugged and said, "Yeah, that tracks." There's even a movie about it. Don't expect nightlife unless the stars count. And they should, because the night sky here could make your phone camera insecure. Want sushi and Uber? Probably not your town. But if peace, quirk, and affordability are on the checklist, Snowflake checks all three, with a glowing green light from above. 8. Bisbee, Arizona. Bisbee is what happens when a dusty old mining town takes a left turn into the art world and never looks back. Winding through a canyon near the Mexico border, Bisbee is a surreal mashup of ghosts, murals, vintage guitars, and the occasional puppet shop. Yes, puppet shop. On paper, this town shouldn't work. The median home price sits at around $210,000. The cost of living index is about 85. And somehow, it's still under the radar enough to feel like a secret handshake. Crime is low, even though the town looks like the perfect set for a stylish heist movie. There are murals everywhere, underground bars that double as performance spaces, and a haunted hotel that serves cocktails named after its resident spirits. It's as if Wes Anderson collaborated with a local potter and decided stairs were the town's main mode of transportation. Because make no mistake, Bisbee has stairs. Enough stairs to challenge your knees to a duel. Don't expect parking or easy grocery runs. But do expect charm, art, and a community where weird is not just accepted, it's expected. Retirement in Bisbee isn't just about stretching dollars. It's about stretching the idea of normal. 7. Safford, Arizona. Safford is the town equivalent of wearing your comfiest clothes and finally exhaling. Nothing flashy here, just space, stars, serenity, and affordability that's almost suspicious. Homes average around $185,000. Cost of living index 84. The climate is classic high desert, warm days, cool nights, and zero humidity. Violent crime is practically non-existent, and Tucson's close enough for decent healthcare if needed. Neighbors wave even if they don't know you, which is a little unsettling at first, but sweet once it settles in. The local economy is built around agriculture and science. Yes, science. Mount Graham Observatory hovers above the town, making astronomers just as common as farmers. This is the kind of place where your mechanic might also be your barber, and somehow excel at both. Retirement here feels deliberate. Life slows down by design, no pressure to entertain or be entertained. Just space, sky, and the daily decision between walking the canal trail or sitting on your porch judging cloud shapes. Not for the easily bored, there's a gas station that sells burritos, duck feed, and funeral candles in the same aisle. Also, no one uses turn signals. But somehow, it all works. 6. Clarkdale, Arizona. Clarkdale isn't loud about what it offers, and that's the beauty. Built as a company town for copper smelters in the early 1900s, it now feels like Sedona's cooler, jazz-listening cousin, minus the prices and crowds. The median home price? Around $265,000. Still a steal considering what's next door. The cost of living index is 89. Population is under 5,000, with a healthy dose of retirees who swapped stress for open mic nights. The vibe? Desert vinyl with a hint of red wine. Live jazz plays in local venues. There's a scenic railroad that exists just for vibes. The Verde Canyon Railroad rolls right through town, offering rides that make time feel less like an enemy and more like a background soundtrack. There's an espresso shop, galleries, music festivals, and a strange number of roundabouts. Seriously, more roundabouts than stoplights. It's like the city planner got dizzy with the budget. Also, 0 decent bagel shops. Bring your own or make peace with mediocrity. Clarkdale isn't about hype, it's about rhythm. A quieter, cheaper rhythm. 5. Duncan, Arizona. Duncan is the town that refused to die, twice. It's been flooded, ignored by the railroad, and still it's standing. Barely 800 people live here, and yet the community pulses with a kind of stubborn pride you just can't fake. Home prices average $135,000. The cost of living index is around 80, one of the lowest on the list. And that price includes things like porches, wide fields, and silence so thick it's practically a soundproof booth. This town runs on grit, pie, and porch wisdom. There's a mural downtown that brags about surviving floods and mail route thefts like they're badges of honor. It's quirky, historical, and just the right amount of petty. Jobs are limited, so it's ideal for retirement. Crime is almost non-existent. People know who's knocking just from the sound. And the biggest event of the year is the town rodeo. Main Street shuts down and everyone shows up. Coffee options are bleak unless gas station espresso from 2007 counts. But peace and quiet? Unlimited supply. Duncan is the ultimate opt-out town. It doesn't move fast and it doesn't apologize for it. 4. Portal, Arizona. Portal isn't just a name, it's a whole vibe. A retreat tucked into the Chiricahua Mountains where GPS signals fade out of sheer respect. This place doesn't have a gas station, or a grocery store, or cell service, but what it does have is peace thick enough to qualify as insulation. Median home prices, around $175,000. Cost of living sites at about 81. Crime is basically limited to raccoons with bad manners. The locals are a mix of birdwatchers, astronomers, scientists gone rogue, and retirees who wanted solitude, not HOA committees. The bookstore doubles as a town center, and the ratio of hummingbirds to humans might be 19:1. Forget nightlife, forget light, period. This place trades traffic noise for coyote lullabies. The Wi-Fi is sketchy, but the mental clarity, crystal. Not for bug haters or Starbucks lovers. But if the idea of hearing your own thoughts and nothing else sounds like bliss, Portal is it. 3. Camp Verde, Arizona. Camp Verde is the kind of town where the coffee comes with creekside serenity and horses have more room than the average apartment. Located just an hour from both Phoenix and Flagstaff, this one sits in a sweet spot, affordable, peaceful, and weird in the best way. Median home prices are about $260,000. Cost of living index around 87. Crime rate, 45% lower than the national average. Plus, it's river-fed and mountain-backed, literally fresh air from all sides. Ancient cliff dwellings nearby, hot air balloons, and yes, an annual corn fest. Not a typo. The roads here can be questionable, especially when Google Maps insists a goat trail is a road. But the views are unbeatable: real greenery, running water, and national monuments in your backyard. It's not off-grid, but it's far enough from chaos that gridlock feels like a rumor. Camp Verde is proof you can still find balance between serenity and civilization. 2. Willcox, Arizona. Willcox might just be the secret star of Arizona. It's quiet, it's wide open, it's wine country. And the prices? Unreal. Median home price is around $155,000. Cost of living index, 76. That's barely believable in this economy. Over 70% of Arizona's wine grapes are grown here, and the sunsets alone are worth the move. It smells like cows. But that smell is what saving smells like. It's an honest, agricultural town where your neighbor's dog probably gets more social interaction than you. One-bedroom rents go for around $600. And the Wi-Fi? Surprisingly decent. There's no pretense here, just space, sky, and enough wine to make everything feel like a lifestyle brand. Willcox isn't trying to impress, it's just trying to exist peacefully, and doing a great job. 1. Arivaca, Arizona. Arivaca isn't just off the beaten path, it is the path after the road ends. Population, minimal. Nightlife, stars and overthinking. This place is so remote, it feels like a reset button disguised as a town. Median home price, around $140,000. Cost of living index, just 75. Crime rate is basically theoretical. It's closer to wild javelinas than it is to a Trader Joe's, and that's kind of the point. There are no big box stores, no rush, no real noise. Just space, silence, and sunsets that hurt in the best way. Phone signals go here to reflect on life. It's the kind of town that doesn't want to be a destination. It wants to be a decision, a quiet, permanent one. This is not a town for the convenience hungry. But for those looking to opt out of the grind, Arivaca delivers. Peace, weirdness, and affordability wrapped in desert magic. The dirt roads here feel like they're made for long thoughts and slow drives. Locals measure distance in time and memory, not miles. When someone says just down the road, they mean tomorrow if the weather's kind. The library doubles as a community heartbeat, and every porch carries a little local wisdom. Even the wind sounds slower here, more like a whisper than a gust. Grocery trips are planned, not spontaneous, and every meal cooked feels like an event. There's a coffee shop that closes when the owner's done talking, and no one complains. Mail comes when it comes, and neighbors stop by because that's just what neighbors do. Nobody's tracking steps or counting likes out here. The only algorithm that matters is the way the sun hits the hills in the evening. Dogs don't wear leashes, and people don't wear stress. Time isn't lost, it's reclaimed. Arivaca doesn't change you fast. It just quietly reminds you who you were before everything got so loud. Some towns thrive on hustle, others hum softly, waiting for the few who are actually listening. These 10 Arizona towns aren't just cheap. They're peaceful, poetic, and just weird enough to be unforgettable. The world keeps rushing, but here, time doesn't sprint, it strolls. If one of these towns made you want to ditch the HOA drama, trade city stress for coyote lullabies, or sip wine under stars instead of sirens, drop a comment below. Everyone talks about California like it's this dreamy paradise, but also the kind of place where a one-bedroom apartment can cost more than a new car. But here's the twist: California still has pockets of beauty, charm, and affordability. It's not all high-rises and sky-high prices. Scattered across the state are towns that deliver stunning views, small-town vibes, and enough affordability to actually breathe. So let's dive straight into the places that prove you really can live beautifully in California without selling your soul to rent. Number 10 on the list? Clear Lake. Now imagine standing on the shores of a shimmering blue lake, the surface stretching for miles like a sheet of glass. Surrounding you, rolling golden hills, dotted with oak trees, and right in the background, a dormant volcano watching over the valley. That's Mount Canocti. The lake itself is California's largest natural freshwater lake, and the town of Clear Lake sits right along its southeastern edge. The whole place feels laid back in the best way. The community? Around 16,600 people, which means it's small enough to feel neighborly, but not so tiny you're isolated. Life here moves with the water, slow, steady, and full of nature. Clear Lake State Park draws in swimmers, campers, and anyone looking to unwind under oak-shaded coves. Meanwhile, Anderson Marsh is a quiet gem, with boardwalks that slip through tule marshes and tell stories of indigenous history. Take a hike up to Konocti's summit and everything opens up. You'll see the whole lake basin from up there, a view that makes you stop and just stare. And if fishing's your thing, this place has serious bragging rights. In 2025, Clear Lake was named the top bass lake in the country. Locals proudly call it the bass capital of the West, and the stories about legendary catches, they're everywhere. The seasons give the town its rhythm. Spring brings boats and barbecues for the annual Catfish Derby, a tournament that's more like a weekend-long celebration for families. Then by fall, it's all about harvest. Orchards burst into life, and the Kelseyville Pear Festival lights up the valley with music, food, and good vibes. In between, local wineries make the most of the volcanic soil, pouring bold reds and crisp whites that taste even better with a breeze off the lake. And the best part? The price tag doesn't ruin the vibe. Most homes here land in the $200,000 to $250,000 range, and rentals around $1,000 a month. For lakefront living in California, that almost sounds made up. Sure, summers run hot and the occasional algal bloom pops up, but locals know how to manage it, because in Clear Lake, the rewards are worth it. Next up, the landscape shifts from sparkling waters to golden desert sand. Welcome to Blythe. This is the kind of place where the desert rolls right into a ribbon of green, thanks to the Colorado River. Blythe sits in the Sonoran Desert with around 17,300 residents, and it somehow feels both sun-baked and surprisingly lush. With over 350 days of sunshine a year, life here happens outside. Mayflower Park is a favorite. Families launch kayaks, cast lines, or just lounge under cottonwoods that offer blessed shade. And outside of town, dusty trails are made for ATVs and dirt bikes. As night falls, the sky turns into something out of a planetarium. Stars scatter across the horizon like confetti. Travel just a bit north, and the desert shows off one of its mysteries: massive geoglyphs called the Blythe intaglios. These ancient human and animal figures are so big, you can only really appreciate them from above. It's hard to believe more people haven't heard of them. And the town has its own flavor. February brings fiddles and banjos to the river during the Bluegrass Festival, one of California's longest-running music events. Need more nature? Joshua Tree National Park is just a drive away, and across the river in Arizona, the Kofa Wildlife Refuge stretches out wild and rugged under those endless skies. Even with all that to offer, Blythe doesn't blow your budget. Homes typically range from $200,000 to $240,000, and rentals hover around $900 a month. For a riverfront town in California, that's rare territory. Now, let's head a little inland where things get quirky. Number 8 is Coalinga. This is the kind of town where you might find yourself cheering on racing horned toads one weekend, then watching hot air balloons fill the sky the next. With around 16,700 residents, Coalinga blends small-town traditions with a deep sense of history. Set against the Gabilan Range and the Anticline Ridge, it's a valley town with a rugged pastoral charm. The land itself carries stories. Birdwell rock petroglyphs sit etched into sandstone boulders, Native American carvings that have watched over this place for centuries. Back in the day, this was a coaling station for Southern Pacific Railroad engines. Then they struck oil and the town boomed. You can still see the legacy at the R.C. Baker Memorial Museum, a charming little spot housed in a restored 1930s gas station. Out front, the salvaged bell tower from a school destroyed in a 1983 earthquake, standing tall like a badge of survival. And Coalinga loves to celebrate that spirit. Every May, the Horned Toad Derby takes over. Yes, actual horned toads racing. It's hilarious, weird, and deeply beloved. Then, come November, hot air balloons lift off from the fields at sunrise, turning the sky into a floating patchwork quilt. That's the Whammo Hot Air Balloon Rally. Living here isn't just charming, it's doable. Homes range from $250,000 to $290,000, with rents around $1,000. For a town with both character and affordability, that's a combo that's getting harder to find. Now on to Bakersfield, a city that doesn't hide its quirks. This place leans all the way into neon signs, country music, and a baseball park built facing the wrong way. It's got over 417,000 people, making it one of California's biggest cities, and yet it holds on to that hometown feel. Oil fields and citrus groves shape the land, while the city's soundtrack is rooted in the Bakersfield sound. But this isn't a place stuck in the past. The Fox Theater still glows downtown. The Kern County Museum's Pioneer Village and Neon Plaza blend history and Instagram-worthy nostalgia. And there's a creative buzz here too. Filmmakers, artists, and musicians bringing new life to the Central Valley. When it comes to nature, Bakersfield holds its own. 2 hours in any direction can land you under sequoias, hiking in the Sierra foothills, or exploring alpine trails. Closer to town, Murray Family Farms offers cherry picking, corn mazes, and even hybrids like the Cherrim, part cherry, part plum. Despite the size and activity, the cost of living stays surprisingly grounded. Homes list between $350,000 to $400,000, with median rents around $1,000. Groceries average $350 to $400 a month, which is shockingly normal by California standards. Let's head north now to a foggy coastal town, Eureka. This city has a vibe like no other. With around 25,400 residents, Eureka sits between the Pacific Ocean and forests of ancient redwoods. It's home to a 350-acre Old Town district full of Victorian Greek Revival and neoclassical architecture. The Carson Mansion looks like it was pulled straight from a fantasy novel. Wander just a few blocks, and the city flips from historic to artsy. At Sequoia Park, the Redwood Skywalk lets you stroll high above the forest floor on suspended bridges. The Humboldt Botanical Gardens spread out over 44 acres, with winding trails and views of the bay wrapped in mist. On the water, kayakers paddle across Humboldt Bay as gulls wheel overhead. Even the old ferry, now famous for having just one bar stool, still floats, serving drinks and history in equal measure. Yes, it's a little foggy, but that fog wraps around the city like a movie set. And with median home prices between $350,000 and $420,000, and average rents around $1,200, it's still one of California's coastal bargains. Head inland and up a bit in elevation, and you'll find Alturas. At over 4,300 feet above sea level, this high desert town of 2,600 offers crisp nights, starry skies, and a vibe that feels both rugged and calm. The Warner Mountains rise in the east, the Modoc Plateau stretches out wild and wide, and the Pitt River cuts a quiet line through town. Alturas was once the Aumaui village of Kasalawi. That deep native history still whispers through the landscape. These days, the local economy revolves around the U.S. Forest Service, Bureau of Land Management, and long-standing ranching traditions. It's a gateway to untouched wilderness, plateaus, wetlands, and desert roads that seem to disappear into Nevada. And while it might be remote, Alturas doesn't feel disconnected. There's the Brass Rail Basque restaurant, where big plates are served family-style and strangers end up talking like neighbors. Scenic drives wind through the Warner Mountains, and nearby towns like Fort Bidwell and Cedarville feel like part of the same rhythm. Here's the kicker. Homes run between $150,000 and $170,000, with rent averaging just $800 a month. Next, the town where pine forests and sagebrush meet, Susanville. Tucked in northeastern California, Susanville is surrounded by the Sierra Nevada, the Cascade Range, and the Great Basin Desert. That mix of terrains gives it a unique character. Around 16,000 people live here, and its history reaches back to the gold rush before shifting into ranching and timber. Uptown is full of brick storefronts and murals that nod to local legends. And outside the city, the Biz Johnson Trail runs for 25 miles along a retired rail line, crossing trestle bridges and tunnels through vibrant fall foliage. Nearby, Lassen Volcanic National Park bursts with steaming fumaroles and alpine lakes. Eagle Lake offers boating and camping, and the Susan River is a quiet spot for fishing or hiking. Even with all that nature, the town stays affordable. Homes average $230,000 to $270,000, and rent stays under $1,000. Now let's talk Bernie, home of one of the most spectacular waterfalls in the country. Bernie Falls plunges 129 feet, pouring out 100 million gallons a day into mossy cliffs. Teddy Roosevelt called it the eighth wonder of the world, and honestly, it's hard to argue. The town itself is small, around 3,000 people, but it's hugged by the Cascade Range, Bernie Mountain, and thick forest. The MacArthur Bernie Falls State Park is the heart of it all, with campsites, trails, and a lake perfect for kayaking. The Pacific Crest Trail cuts nearby, bringing hikers from thousands of miles away. Around town, locals create art out of scrap metal and leave it along country roads as surprises. And yes, it's incredibly affordable. Homes run $170,000 to $230,000, with rent around $700 a month. That's almost unheard of for a place this scenic. Needles is next, and it's as hot as it is historic. Right on the edge of California, near Arizona and Nevada, this desert town sits along Route 66. Around 4,800 people live here, and the Colorado River helps take the edge off the legendary heat. Sunsets splash the Mojave sky with orange and crimson. Nearby, the Mojave National Preserve spreads out with wildflowers and volcanic mesas. Needles has history baked in. The 1908 El Garces station still stands. Home values fall between $170,000 and $200,000. Rent, about $750. That's it. And finally, we land in Redding. This is where glass and steel meet mountain trails. The Sundial Bridge, a massive work of art, stretches 700 feet across the river, acting as both a sundial and a bridge. By night, it glows aquamarine, like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. With about 93,500 residents, Redding balances urban culture with wild nature. Turtle Bay Exploration Park covers 300 acres, full of trails, museums, and wildlife. Just outside the city, Whiskeytown Lake sparkles with hidden coves. Lassen Volcanic National Park bubbles with geothermal features. Downtown, walkable, artsy, and alive with music and festivals. The cost of living? Still manageable. Homes range from $360,000 to $400,000. Rent averages around. Texas isn't just a state, it's a feeling. And it's high time you discover the secret. The real Texas magic often lives far from the glitz of skyscrapers or the roar of expressways. What if the best place for your next chapter isn't just affordable, but also full of color, character, and stories older than the barbed wire fencing the wild edges? Today, you're about to meet the most beautiful and cheapest places to live in Texas. The kinds of towns where you can buy a slice of pie, a slice of history, and a slice of the good life, all for less than you'd ever guess. Ready to see where tomorrow could look a whole lot sweeter? Let's start a little south of San Antonio, in a town you'll probably smell before you see. If you've ever caught a breeze carrying the hint of strawberries, you've nearly arrived. Welcome to Poteet, where spring is more than a calendar page, it's a celebration. Here, life hums with the tune of farm trucks and festival rides, a place where the Strawberry Festival feels more like a family reunion than a fair. Picture this, kids racing between pie-eating contests, their laughter floating as high as the Tejano music that dances into dusk. In Poteet, sweetness runs deeper than the berries. Just ask the red strawberry-shaped water tower that stands guard over a town where every mural and porch gathering tells another piece of a century-old story. A story fertilized by grit, sun, and the stubborn joy that refuses to fade. Homes here? They're as approachable as the hand-painted signs by the berry fields. You could land a house for $200,000 to $230,000, and a two-bedroom rental often goes for around $850. Groceries, especially if you love a good farmer's market, fall neatly in the $300 to $350 range per month. And a fun footnote, this is George Strait country. The king of country's spirit lingers, humming through the fields and at every front porch jam session. But maybe you want your boots a little dustier. Head west, way out to Pecos, where cowboy grit isn't a costume, but the dress code. This is where the modern rodeo was born, July 4, 1883, with hooves pounding and bronc riders earning their legends. In Pecos, the boots drying by the door aren't there for show. They're ready for work, whether you're wrangling cattle or swapping stories at the local diner. Ranch hands and oil field workers still make the world turn, and nobody here ever asked for a shortcut. It's a town built on sweat and stubbornness, where legends echo at the Trans-Pecos Rodeo every summer, and the legacy is as real as the morning stillness and sun-blasted colors of the desert earth. Think you can't afford the Wild West anymore? Think again. Median home prices stubbornly cling to the $140,000 to $170,000 zone, and you can still find two-bedroom rentals starting near $700. Groceries go for $300 to $350 a month. But what you get is more than a receipt. It's the kind of sunset that isn't satisfied with a slow fade, but explodes across the sky, reminding every gas station and porch of its place in the American West. What if you like your charm a little quieter, waiting patiently for discovery instead of shouting? Winnsboro is your spot, tucked gently among East Texas pines. Over 3,600 folks call it home, but magic flows here like the hush of an autumn breeze. Arriving slow, never staged. Maybe it's the namesake settler's legacy, or the way railroad lines once carried new stories under the trees. Or maybe it's the annual Autumn Trails Festival, painting wagons and casting fiddles' laughter through streets old enough to remember pioneers and elegant enough to keep history alive in every brick. A walk through downtown means discovery over rushing. Local studios double as gathering spots, vinyl records pile next to handmade pottery, and at the Bowery stage open mic night, everyone's a neighbor, even newcomers. And if you're seeking peace, slip just beyond the pines to Lake Winnsboro or Bob Sandlin, where lake mornings offer the kind of unhurried quiet most cities only dream about. Homes in Winnsboro? You can still find doors to knock on for $210,000 to $270,000, and rent for a cozy two-bedroom typically comes in at $1,100. Groceries land at $350 to $400, though a word to the wise, leave room in your budget for peach preserves and goat milk soap at the market. A town's hospitality has never tasted so sweet. If history is your thing, genuine, living history, maybe you're already headed for Mexia. Just under 7,000 people, a blend of cultures, and a heritage so alive it still echoes in every block. Named after a revolutionary general, this town is thick with stories. Fort Parker nearby holds memories of frontier abductions and survival, while murals downtown capture Juneteenth celebrations alive with music and togetherness. Here, culture isn't a museum, it's a meal you're invited to, a festival you don't just watch but join, and a melody with 3 languages carried on every grocery run. Best part? It's wildly affordable. Median home values slide gently from $100,000 to $140,000, and two-bedroom rent sits comfortably around $900. Even groceries feel like a throwback, running $250 to $300 a month. And every trail, fishing spot, and museum is dusted with history, inviting you not just to learn, but to belong. Travel north and you'll find Bonham, a town of just under 11,000. Here, heritage isn't about preserving the past under glass, it's carved into statues, painted on brick, and played out in Friday night gatherings that feel like extensions of the living room. Founded as Bois d'Arc, strength runs deep, and the legacy of Alamo bravery is woven into the town's rhythms. Bonham is one of the oldest towns in Texas. At its core, Cowboy hats mean business, and the town's heart never goes out of season. Now close your eyes and try to imagine a scent that's earthier than rain on hot pavement. Ripe June tomatoes, pine bark, and a whisper of lake water. That's Jacksonville, population 14,000, East Texas charm seasoned with sweetness. Its roots stretch back to 1847, but bloom highest every summer, when Tomato Fest transforms the town into a celebration of red. Bake-offs, classic car shows, parades. Jacksonville isn't just the tomato capital, it's a town that knows how to live large on a small-town budget. Here, the legendary Tomato Bowl isn't a cafe, but a stone stadium where Friday night lights once stretched on for 12 record-setting overtimes. A memory still recounted like gospel in these parts. Houses can be yours for $130,000 to $200,000, rentals around $900, and groceries alongside a half bushel of tomatoes for $300 to $350 a month. Lake Jacksonville, a glassy span of water, offers reprieve and respite, while the art scene grows every bit as lush as the garden beds. Up north, don't be surprised by the frontier energy buzzing through Bowie, just shy of 6,000 residents. Bowie's history is a blend of legend and modern reinvention, from the time the railroad turned pastures to prosperity to today's creative ventures like Tinytopia, a tiny home village that turned heads in 2022. Funky, fully furnished, and walkable, it's innovation with Texas flavor. The heart of Bowie beats in its courthouse square, alive with gatherings, murals, and the hum of everyday living. Small town doesn't mean static here. Food trucks, quirky shops, barbecue joints, and new eateries remix tradition with courage. You could land a home for $200,000 to $250,000, or rent for something near $1,000. Groceries, true to Texas, slide in at $350 to $400, particularly if your appetite leans toward pecan pie and a second helping at the farmer's market. Now enter Mount Pleasant, a name setting the bar high and clearing it easily. Enveloped in rolling woodlands with 16,000 people, this is heritage, hospitality, and homegrown flavor tied together with a bow and an affordable price tag. Named for Pleasant Mound, Mount Pleasant grew from a 19th century rail hub into a quilt of culture. Titus County Museum, housed in a preserved historic library, tells the stories of Caddo heritage, settler grit, and railroad hustle. The Mid-America Flight Museum keeps history flying, with vintage aircraft still taking to Texas skies. On the ground, you'll find boutique shops, jazz nights, and, get this, an 80,000 square foot chocolate factory that will make any sweet tooth weak at the knees. Nature lovers rejoice at Lake Bob Sandlin, just minutes away, for postcard-perfect camping, fishing, and hiking. Homes hold fast at $200,000 to $250,000, with two-bedroom rentals at $800, and groceries and life fitting nicely into the range of $300 to $350. Events here pull the town together, reflecting a diversity and inclusiveness as rich as the chocolate at Sweet Shop USA. Finally, let's head for somewhere slower, softer, humming with heritage, a hidden gem central to Texas called Marlin. Under 6,000 population, yet with ripples of glory radiating from days when mineral springs made the world flock here for healing waters. The spa heyday is faded, but the elegant buildings, the shaded parks, and the town's quiet pride remain strong. Marlin's story began in 1892, when thermal springs popped up under cattle country and changed everything. Suddenly, this was a destination for the sick, the curious, and those seeking peace. Walk downtown and history whispers from every limestone block. A courthouse wrapped in marble, echoes of grand spa hotels, residents who remember the celeb-struck glory days. Now, Marlin's tranquility is shaped more by agriculture and the presence of majestic live oaks and blooming crepe myrtle trees. And the price? You'll have to do a double take. Median homes hover at $80,000 to $110,000. Rental averages only $700, and groceries, almost unbelievably, $280 to $320 per month. Comfort food reigns. Fried chicken, chopped steak, home-baked pies, and cozy diners under vintage signage serve up conversation as easily as coffee. But that's not the end of Texas's hidden affordability. In a state as vast as imagination itself, Towns like Wichita Falls, Amarillo, Lubbock, and Killeen bring their own flavor to the table, all while keeping budgets beautifully intact. Take Wichita Falls, for example, consistently topping lists as the most affordable Texas city for 2025. Here, housing costs are low. Parks like Lucy and Lake Wichita offer scenic escapes, and a strong community spirit makes your dollar stretch farther and your days brighter. Lubbock, too, with its ties to Texas Tech and its legendary music scene, makes living easy. Median home values often rest right around $205,000, and rents start from $1,250. A steal for a metro with big energy but a small-town heart. Lubbock blends cultural attractions with manageable prices. When most people think of Pennsylvania, they imagine bustling cities like Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, busy highways, and a few famous landmarks. But the truth is, Pennsylvania hides an astonishing number of beautiful, almost secret places that make it one of the most underrated states in the US. The first place I want to show you is Lancaster County. Now, you might know it as the home of Amish communities, but it's so much more than that. Imagine wide-open fields stretching as far as the eye can see, dotted with red barns and grazing horses. Life here moves at a slower pace, the kind of pace that reminds you that you don't always have to rush. I stayed in a small town called Lititz, which many locals describe as the coolest small town in America. And it's easy to see why. Cobblestone streets, charming coffee shops, and boutique stores create a sense of community that's rare in today's world. And it's not just aesthetics. The quality of life here is incredible. You can find affordable homes, excellent schools, and a sense of safety that big cities often can't offer. Next, let's talk about the Pocono Mountains. This region is often thought of only as a vacation spot, but it's actually a fantastic place to settle down. Living in the Poconos offers the rare combination of natural beauty and accessibility. You have mountains, lakes, and rivers on your doorstep, perfect for hiking, fishing, or kayaking. The area is filled with hidden gems. Small towns like Stroudsburg and Milford have art galleries, antique shops, and local restaurants that feel like they've been frozen in time. What surprised me most was how vibrant these communities are. There's a real sense of neighborly connection, where people wave to each other on the streets, and local events bring the entire town together. The cost of living is reasonable, and you can still find modern conveniences and good schools without losing touch with nature. If you're drawn to history, Gettysburg should definitely be on your radar. Known for the pivotal Civil War battle, Gettysburg offers a unique blend of history, culture, and charm. Living here feels like stepping into a living museum where every street has a story. The downtown area is filled with historic buildings that now house coffee shops, boutiques, and restaurants that serve both locals and tourists. Beyond its historic appeal, Gettysburg is a surprisingly practical place to live. It's quiet and safe, with a strong sense of community and some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet. The educational options are solid, with good schools and a focus on preserving the town's rich history. Plus, if you're someone who enjoys walking or biking, the town and its surrounding areas are incredibly walkable. Moving to western Pennsylvania, you have the Laurel Highlands. This area is a nature lover's paradise. Mountains, waterfalls, and parks dominate the landscape, and small towns like Ligonier and Greensburg are scenic, peaceful, and full of character. One of the most striking things about this area is how it combines outdoor adventure with comfort. You can spend your weekends hiking in Ohiopyle State Park, exploring waterfalls, or skiing in winter resorts, and return to cozy, historic homes in quaint towns. The Laurel Highlands also has a thriving local food scene, with farmers' markets, craft breweries, and local restaurants offering farm-to-table options. For families, this area is ideal because it combines safety, excellent schools, and a slower pace of life with opportunities for adventure and recreation. Central Pennsylvania is often overlooked, but places like State College and Bellefonte offer a unique blend of small-town charm and cultural richness. State College, home to Penn State University, is vibrant and lively, with a strong sense of community fueled by the university and its activities. The town combines cultural events, sporting events, and natural beauty in one package. Bellefonte, on the other hand, is a historic gem filled with Victorian architecture, tree-lined streets, and a deep sense of community pride. Both areas have strong local economies, affordable living options, and excellent schools. What makes these towns special is that they offer the benefits of urban amenities without the congestion, noise, and stress of larger cities. If you want a mix of culture and outdoors, the Lehigh Valley is a region you can't ignore. Towns like Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton are packed with arts, music, and food culture. Bethlehem, in particular, is famous for its historic industrial past and has reinvented itself as a cultural hub. You have museums, theaters, coffee shops, and local markets, alongside rivers and parks that provide a natural escape. This blend of city-like cultural amenities and access to nature is rare. Families, young professionals, and retirees alike find the area appealing because it offers diversity in lifestyle options. Whether you want to be near cultural events, hiking trails, or riverside activities, the Lehigh Valley has it all. Then there's the Endless Mountains region in northeastern Pennsylvania. The name alone evokes a sense of freedom, adventure, and untouched beauty. Towns like Tunkhannock and Montrose are small and quiet, but are surrounded by vast forests, rivers, and rolling hills. The lifestyle here is ideal for those who value solitude, nature, and simplicity. Homes often come with larger plots of land, so you can have gardens, workshops, or just enjoy space. The region has low crime rates, affordable living, and strong community networks. For people seeking to escape the noise of urban life and connect with nature, this is a perfect place. It's also a place where traditions are strong and community ties matter, creating a sense of belonging that is often lost in cities. On the western side of the state, Erie, sitting on the shores of Lake Erie, offers the kind of waterfront lifestyle many people only dream about. The city has beaches, parks, and recreational boating, yet maintains a small-town feel in many neighborhoods. Meadville is quieter but full of character, with Victorian homes, tree-lined streets, and a strong sense of history. Both areas are surprisingly affordable, with low cost of living, making them attractive for families and retirees. The proximity to the Great Lakes also provides unique recreational opportunities that few inland states can offer. Another hidden gem is the Susquehanna River Valley. The towns along the river, like Selinsgrove and Lewisburg, combine natural beauty, culture, and history. The river provides a scenic backdrop for walking, cycling, and kayaking, while the towns themselves have charming downtown areas with boutique shops, local eateries, and historic architecture. These towns are often overlooked by tourists, which makes them even more appealing for people who want peace and privacy without being isolated. The sense of community here is palpable, with local events, farmers' markets, and town festivals keeping neighbors connected. Education and local services are well maintained, making it an ideal spot for families seeking balance between nature and convenience. While exploring Pennsylvania, one thing became immediately clear: the magic of this state often lies in the little details. It's not just the grand vistas or historic streets, it's the small parks tucked between townhouses, the family-owned diners serving generations-old recipes, the local festivals that bring entire communities together, and the riverside trails that most tourists never discover. In Lancaster County, for example, beyond the iconic Amish farms and horse-drawn buggies, there's a quiet charm in the hidden walking trails along the Conestoga River. Early in the morning, when mist rises from the water and the air smells faintly of earth and hay, you can feel a sense of timelessness that city life can never provide. Locals often tell stories about discovering wildflowers along these trails or seeing deer silently cross the fields at dawn, creating moments that make living here feel almost magical. The town of Lititz deserves an even closer look. Known for its historic Moravian architecture, it's the kind of place where a single stroll down Main Street can feel like stepping into another era. Beyond the picturesque streets, there's a vibrant cafe culture that draws residents together. I remember stopping at a small coffee shop where the owner greeted every patron by name, some of whom had been visiting for decades. It's experiences like this, personal connections that feel genuine and unhurried, that make small-town living in Pennsylvania so special. Even the local shops carry stories, from handcrafted candles to hand-painted pottery. Each piece represents the dedication and passion of a local artisan. Unlike big cities, where commerce often feels impersonal, Lancaster County's economy thrives on these intimate connections, fostering both community and sustainability. Moving toward the Poconos, I discovered that the natural beauty here is more than just scenic. It's a lifestyle. Many towns like Stroudsburg blend modern conveniences with proximity to nature. Locals often talk about spontaneous weekend hikes or impromptu canoe trips along the Delaware River. What's remarkable is how accessible it all is. You don't need to plan elaborate vacations to enjoy nature. It's woven seamlessly into daily life. Families buy homes with backyards opening onto trails, and even the town centers embrace greenery, with public parks and community gardens peppered throughout. This integration of lifestyle and landscape creates a sense of freedom and well-being that's hard to find elsewhere. I met a resident who told me she cycles to work along river trails every morning, a daily commute that doubles as exercise and meditation. That kind of lifestyle, active, mindful, connected, is a hidden luxury that Pennsylvania quietly offers. Gettysburg, of course, carries its historical weight. But living here is about more than monuments and battlefield tours. The town thrives on a culture of preservation and education. Walking through the residential neighborhoods, you notice restored colonial houses, manicured gardens, and local shops housed in century-old buildings. There's a rhythm to life here that respects the past while accommodating the present. Moments like these reveal that Gettysburg's richness comes not only from its scenery, but from the depth of engagement its residents have with their surroundings and each other. Schools emphasize both academic excellence and civic responsibility, ensuring that children grow up with a strong sense of belonging and purpose. The Laurel Highlands are another area where Pennsylvania's hidden beauty comes alive. Unlike many mountain regions, these towns are compact yet abundant with activities. In Ligonier, I visited a small family-run bakery that's been operating for over 50 years. Inside, the smell of fresh bread mingled with the faint scent of pine from nearby woods. Residents often gather there not just to buy food, but to catch up, share stories, and maintain the social fabric that binds the town. These hidden gems deserve serious consideration. They offer more than just scenic views. They offer quality of life, connection, and a sense of home. The next time someone mentions Pennsylvania, don't just think of Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. Think of the endless small towns, rivers, mountains, and valleys that quietly make this state a hidden paradise. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to thrive.